This is the Content Marketing Podcast, episode number 207, How 2016 Rocked Our Content Marketing World. Hello and welcome to the Content Marketing Podcast. This is the show where we help you grow your tribe and your bottom line through insanely good content. I'm your host, Rachel Parker of Resonance Content Marketing, and today is December 29th, 2016. Hello, or as we say in Texas, howdy, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of the Content Marketing Podcast. Just a reminder, this podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and now Google Play Music. So if you like what you hear, please feel free to click on over and subscribe. Also, my new book, The Content Marketing Coach, Everything You Need to Get in the Game and Win, is now available on Amazon in book and Kindle format. And here's what content marketing guru Joe Pulizzi had to say about it. He said, a simple yet effective guide to an approach that most businesses get flat out wrong. Do yourself and your business a favor and take a deep dive into this book. You won't regret it, unquote. To learn more about the book and to download a free chapter, go to contentmarketingcoachbook.com. Now, for many of us, December is a slow month business-wise, so last week we explored ways to use this downtime to brush up on your webinar savvy. If you happen to miss that episode, feel free to check it out on iTunes or Stitcher or via the RSS feed. Today, on this third to last day of 2016, we are taking a look back at some of the most impactful trends of the year and how they will affect us in 2017. But first, it's time to check in with our news feed for this week's rundown of news you can use. The Instagram Snapchat tussle continues. These two have been lobbing new features back and forth in an effort to entice audiences away from the other. And the latest foray comes from Instagram. It has introduced a set of tools to help you add context and creativity to your story with stickers. Who else do we know that uses stickers? I know, right? So when you take a photo or video using Instagram, you'll see a new sticker button next to the text and drawing tools. And you can add customized stickers based on the weather, on the time, location, and even holidays. They've got some cute holiday stickers for your holiday Instagrams, just like we have on Snapchat. So what does this mean for marketing? You know, brands are getting smart around creating branded filters and stickers on Snapchat. I did quite a bit of Snapchatting over the holidays, and there were quite a few, sponsored by Bailey's and sponsored by Target. There were these little geo filters and also some stickers that were sponsored. And now that Instagram is offering the same thing, we can see that as another venue as well to create that branded content in the context of Snapchat and also now Instagram. So interesting development. Okay, a sneak peek of a development that is just now being tested on Facebook. It's not available worldwide to all users yet, but it's very interesting. It has been reported that Facebook will soon be offering the ability to broadcast live audio. So it will allow publishers who want to, and this is quoting from the article, to tell a story with words and not with video. So if you are, and this is really handy because, of course, for one thing, live audio takes up less bandwidth. So if you are in a place where you have lower connectivity, audio is a great option because it's going to use less bandwidth, and you're going to have fewer problems than you would if you tried to broadcast video from those low bandwidth areas. Also, it's great for if you just feel like hopping behind a microphone and telling a story. Maybe you're having a bad hair day. Maybe you just rolled out of bed and you're still in your PJs, don't want to do the video thing, but you do want to do audio. So where is this right now? Facebook is currently testing live audio with brands such as BBC World Service. and some others. No word yet on when it will roll out to all users, but we can all start keeping an eye out for it, or more appropriately, keeping an ear out for it. Okay, our content hit of the week is a great post from the ProBlogger blog called 6 Things You Can Do in January to Make Your Blog Better in 2017. Now, if you know me well, you know that I'm no fan of the R word, resolution. I don't like them. They don't work. We set these grand ideas and then by mid-February we're frustrated and they fall to the wayside. But what we can do is make decisions, and better yet, we can take actions that are geared towards doing what we do even better. And that's what this post is about. 6 actions that we can take in January 2017 to make our blogs better. And this really resonated with me, to use my favorite word, because I'm looking to shake things up on my blog as well, looking to do things a little bit differently, seeing how I can, I will not use the word disrupt, I swear, but seeing how I can shake things up a bit and be a little bit more innovative. And this was they offered some great ideas. So I will, of course, provide the link in the blog post for this episode. Okay, that's it for this week's update. If you stumble across something you think might be of interest to your fellow content marketers, please tweet it to me at @RachParker so that we can share. Now it's time for this week's Spotlight segment, how 2016 rocked our content marketing world. As I look across my Facebook and Twitter and even my LinkedIn feed, I am seeing a very strong sentiment of let's get 2016 the hell out of here. Okay. It's been a tough year on many different fronts. I know, oh my goodness, celebrity deaths in 2016 have been, Carrie Fisher and George Michael in the same week. Come on. So, that's been hard on us. And the situation closer to home here in Houston, we are still dealing with a really tough slump, which is we're trying to come up with different words for it in the oil and gas industry. Every time I think they're done with the layoffs, I hear about another round. A lot of my friends are just really, really hurting. So yeah, there is a strong sentiment to let's get through these last few days of 2016 and start fresh with the new year. So today I wanted to talk about some of the developments in 2016 that rocked our world and that will continue rocking our world and changing how we look at things and how we do things in 2017. The first thing, of course, is live video has gone mainstream. Okay, it started, I guess in 2014 with Meerkat. Is it that long ago? And then from there we went to Periscope, and then now Facebook Live has become de rigueur, and people are using it who I never thought I would see using it. Live video has gone mainstream. So if your brand has not embraced it, 2017 is the year to get on that bandwagon. And I've been lax myself. I have not, I've done live video here and there, but I haven't really committed to it. Part of it is vanity. I will admit I do not do full hair and makeup every single day, and just don't want to get on camera with my bed head and my plain old unmakeup face. But I'm going to make a commitment to do it more in 2017. In fact, just earlier today, I posted a live video giving a sneak peek of this podcast. So I will be interested to explore new and interesting ways to use live video. So live video, it's not only is it not going away, it's going to become even bigger and more important in 2017. So if you have not yet embraced it, then I encourage you to do so. And you have a lot of options. Facebook Live has become the 800-pound gorilla, but there are also other venues. I know, the Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts are still alive and well. We also have platforms like Ustream, and yes, Periscope is still around. So decide which which channel you're going to go with. Because the thing about live video is you can only go live on one channel at a time. So unless you want to sit there and do the same video over and over again, it's wise to commit to a certain channel. So just start thinking about that. Pull out that 2017 strategy. See what all you have in there that has to do with live video, and see if it makes sense. Talk it over with your team and make sure you have a strong live video component in place when you execute that beautiful strategy in 2017. Okay, another trend is there's definitely been there's a lot of frustration among marketers with our social media networks. And coupled with that, there's also a decline in trust. So with Facebook, we had a lot of talk about fake news, and then Facebook admitted a few months ago they had a snafu in their analytics. The analytics they reported for a certain period of time were inaccurate, and marketers said, well, shoot, Facebook, why should we trust you with anything? But the main thing is the decline in organic reach. Marketers are just getting really frustrated, and they're wondering, what's the point? I know for me on Facebook, I have a decent following, maybe 350 followers. I haven't really focused on it, but it's a decent sized audience. And I look through my feed and I see such and such post was seen by one person, was seen by two people. It's, and that means it only showed up in one person's newsfeed, two people's newsfeed. And I just look at that and say, well, crap, what's the point? I'm happy to do this, to put this information out there, but, is it worth my time and effort to have it seen by one person? And for all I know, that might have been me, that one person. So, and a lot of marketers feel the same way. So I was looking around for what do our thought leaders have to say about this, and I came across Joe Pulizzi's post on the biggest trends in 2016, or maybe I think it's trends to watch in 2017. I don't remember the exact title, but he was talking about this mistrust, about this frustration with social media networks. So I'm going to share a quote from that blog post. Joe Pulizzi says, quote, "As I travel the globe talking to enterprises about this issue, frustration is at the highest level I've seen. In 2017, I believe two things will happen. There will be more advertising on social media platforms and less organic publishing. The case can be made that a brand does not need to publish organic content on any social platform and instead can opt for an owned platform, in parentheses website, plus paid promotion to create and grow an audience. Of course, social media sharing can happen, but the brand doesn't need to be present on that platform for sharing to happen." Close quote. Wow, wow, wow. What a bold statement, and what a shift in how content marketers are viewing social network. But he's absolutely right. If organic reach is in the toilet right now, and brands are looking for different ways to leverage that. And as we look at, we like to talk about rented property versus owned property. So your Facebook page, like it or not, is rented property, and you are at the mercy of Facebook's algorithm, whereas your website is something that you own. So he's saying that in 2017, we're going to focus on that owned property and use the rented property as a way of driving traffic back to the owned property. Very interesting. And it will be interesting to see what happens next year with brands on social media and what we decide, you and me, guys. I mean, we are in the trenches fighting this daily battle as well. So if you have an insight on this, this frustration with organic publishing on social media, let me know. I would love to hear your perspective on it, and what, if anything, you are going to change next year with regard to your social media practices. Another trend is the quality gap. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As more brands hop on the social media bandwagon, there is more and more content out there, and more of that is crap. I mean, I'm out on LinkedIn Pro Finder, which is where people post projects and providers bid on them. And I saw an interesting project from a law firm saying, "Oh, we're looking for someone to write blog posts for our website. We're looking for this on an ongoing basis. We'll pay $25 per blog post." And I shudder to think what kind of blog post they're going to get for $25 but that's the mentality. That's, we're going to get something out there just to have some new content on our website, new content on our blog, and quality, it's a nice to have. But as long as we can check it off our list, we're good. And there are so many brands doing that there is this big cluster of medium quality to low quality content, and very few are rising to the top and producing top quality, journalistic quality, thought leadership inspiring content. And so if we are going to rise to the top, we have got to up our quality game. And this is a drum that I beat every single year. It's always part of my New Year's message. We've got to up the quality content. And I got to tell you, I'm challenging myself to do the same thing. I look at my blog and I see some things that are just not bad, not poor quality, but just kind of that, just getting out there and talking about what people want to hear about, and offering some basic advice, some how-to posts. So I'm going to be challenging myself to be more insightful next year. And maybe even that will mean blogging less frequently, but putting more time and effort into those blog posts so that I can offer something really meaty that can offer good quality insights and not just information. So that's how I am challenging myself to rise above that quality gap. Again, if you are thinking along the same lines, would love to hear from you. Another trend that we saw in 2016 that will continue next year is that personalization and segmentation are more crucial than ever. They've always been important, but in next year, we have got to be laser focused on those audiences and speaking directly to them. Because when users go online for answers, again, there is such a flood of content out there, they can find answers. But what we're seeing is those users are becoming more selective, and they don't want generic content that really makes them think about how to apply it to their situation. They want very specific, very targeted answers from someone who, number one, who knows what they're doing, number two, knows who that audience is, knows what they need, and how they want those solutions delivered. So as we look at 2017, however focused we have been in the past, we need to be even more focused on that specific audience and really personalize and segment our content to speak specifically to them, because it's a war out there, folks. We've got to be strategic and we've got to be targeted. And sometimes that means sacrificing things like raw traffic numbers. When we get very targeted, when we start narrowcasting, as I like to call it, the gross traffic numbers are going to fall off. And sometimes it's challenging to sit in front of your CMO or CEO and he's saying, okay, our traffic has been cut in half over the last month. What the hell's going on? And to be able to speak to that. So a big challenge coming up that we will have to address next year. One final development, and I actually borrowed this from Joe Polizzi's blog post over things to watch for in 2017, is that email is seeing a renaissance. Think about what we talked about a few minutes ago with more and more brands being frustrated by their social media networks. We're seeing more and more interest in email, and brands are doing really fun and interesting things with their e-newsletters. So it's no longer this just kind of barfed out newsletter. Here's what's going on. Here's a piece of content. Here's some links. Enjoy. But they're seeing much more innovation going into those e-newsletters. And I'm going to be looking at mine as well, because those social networks are just not delivering for us. Whereas email, and I tell you folks this all the time, your list is gold, because these are folks who have said, Yes, I am inviting you into my virtual home. I am allowing you to send mail to my email address. And that is something that no social network can match. So as you look at ways around your frustration, whatever frustration you're seeing with social, think about amping up the email portion of that strategy. And a final trend that we're seeing is that, believe it or not, print is making a comeback. Yes, good old print. And I have a lot of friends in the print industry here in Houston. I can hear them just jumping up and down and clicking their heels because they have been hurting the last few years. But, as online messaging, we're just so inundated with electronic messages day after day, week after week, that print is, to get a beautiful magazine in the mail is almost like, ooh, this is special. Let me look at this. So think about ways to use print. And even I was talking to a client just last week about ways to, they produce a lot of really in-depth resources, a lot of ebooks, a lot of white papers, and they're looking at ways to leverage that into print resources, maybe, and it might be a checklist that they hand out at a trade show. But more and more brands are looking at getting back to print as a way of reaching their audience who is so inundated with those online messages. And in fact, in the Content Marketing Institute's report, B2B Content Marketing Trends in 2017, part of the survey was they asked these B2B marketers to rank their content channels by contribution to overall success. And lo and behold, email came in at number 1. And get this, print came in at number 3. And again, this is content channels ranked by contribution to overall success. So email is working, print is working, and if we are going to be smart about our strategy in 2017, we will at least consider upping our presence via those channels. So that is my quick and dirty rundown of ways that 2016 rocked our content marketing world and will continue to rock our world next year. It is by no means an exhaustive list. We had a lot happen this year that I was not able to mention. But if you have some insights on maybe some things that you noticed for your brand in 2016 that will really inform and guide what you do next year, I would love to hear from you. And best way to reach me is rachel@resonancecontent.com via email, or you can always tweet me at Rach Parker. Now it's time for our content marketing tip of the week. As I mentioned earlier, if you know me, you know I am no fan of the New Year's resolution. I think for one thing, I think it's silly to think that the beginning of the year is the only time you can make major changes to make things better. Number 2, we just don't do them well. We get way too ambitious. We're way too vague. And then by mid-February, we can't even remember what they are. And then, of course, I was at the gym with some friends yesterday and we were thinking, oh yeah, we need to enjoy this quiet time while we can, because the resolutionaries are going to show up next week. But so I am no fan of resolutions. And a practice that I have found really effective is to choose one word for the year. I choose a one-word mantra to inspire me, to guide me, to serve as a backdrop for everything I do over the next 12 months. And I write that word in really big letters on an index card, and I post it right above my desk, right above my monitor, so that I see it every single day. So you might want to do the same. You might want to have one word for your team for 2017, and then you might want to encourage each team member to select a word for 2017. Think about the word that you want to represent your approach. It's going to be your mantra for the next 12 months, and then post it for everyone to see, and then encourage, again, those team members to create their own words for 2017. Not create, we're not inventing words here, but to choose a word for 2017 and post that prominently in their work areas. And then for every action that you take, ask yourself if you are moving in the direction of that word, and watch what happens. And no, I've not yet chosen my word for 2017. I'm still thinking about it, and I will let you know when I do. So choose your word and watch what happens. Okay, campers, that's it for me today on this third to last day of 2016. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Content Marketing Podcast. I've certainly enjoyed our time together, as always. If you like what you've heard today, please feel free to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play Music or via our RSS feed. And if you really like what you've heard, please leave us a quick review on iTunes. Also, remember that my new book, The Content Marketing Coach, Everything You Need to Get in the Game and Win, is now available in book and Kindle format on Amazon. To learn more about the book and to download a free chapter, visit contentmarketingcoachbook.com. As always, I like to leave you with a quote, and today's comes from Neil Gaiman. Now, this is a long quote, but I absolutely love it. I was going to edit it, but there are just so many gems. I'm going to leave it as is, and it is so perfect for this time of year. Neil Gaiman once said, quote, "I hope that in this year to come, you make mistakes. Because if you are making mistakes, then you are making new things, trying new things, learning, living, pushing yourself, changing your world. You're doing things you've never done before, and more importantly, you're doing something. So that's my wish for you and all of us, and my wish for myself. Make new mistakes. Make glorious, amazing mistakes. Make mistakes nobody's ever made before. Don't freeze, don't stop, don't worry that it isn't good enough or it isn't perfect, whatever it is, art or love or work or family or life. Whatever it is you're scared of doing, do it. Make your mistakes next year and forever." Unquote. Wow. Powerful, powerful advice as we look toward a shiny new year. Again, this is Rachel Parker with Resonance Content Marketing. I wish you a very, very happy new year. All the best in 2017, and we will be with you every step of the way. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Take care.